Hi there, I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of LYN Realty in Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining me for my Smarter Real Estate show weekly on Wednesdays. I'm here to teach you some strategies to make you a smarter buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, and also take you along on some of my real estate adventures. All right, so today we are talking about tenant horror stories. I introduced this one in a previous episode, talking about just some of the nightmare tenants we have, and there's certainly a range of nightmares, right? Some are smaller nightmares and some are bigger nightmares. Okay. These two today have to do with some visual things. So I've got photos to show you and I'll do a screen share in just a moment. But I want to first introduce you. So, whenever a tenant moves out, then we go in to do a walkthrough to assess the condition. We take photos and the photos are time stamped, date stamped, so that there's proof of when those photos were taken shortly after the tenants have moved out. And so if ever we need to show them in court, if the tenants try to come after us for a security deposit refund that they were not deserving of, but they think that they were deserving of, then we have pictures to prove otherwise. And then sometimes even video if that's necessary, if something needs to be demonstrated in terms of movement to show that something has been broken or is not functioning properly or whatnot. So, we've been in business since 1981. That's 40 years. And we know exactly what can and cannot be deducted for, what should and should not be deducted for legally under Texas law. So we don't deduct for just normal wear and tear. For example, if you walk past your wall and you brush against it and scuff it just a little bit, that's normal wear and tear. Even in my home, which is so neat and clean and I maintain it, pretty meticulously, there's going to be tiny little scuffs over time. And we've lived here for 9 years. So of course there are. But anyway, when the home has been presented to you in excellent condition, no scuffs, nothing, everything is clean, carpets are steam clean. Sometimes, things are actually brand new. Then when you move out, then we would expect that you've restored it to its original condition. Certainly if there was a stain previously there, we would have had pictures before the tenants moved in to document that, and we would not blame it on the tenant after they move out. There's also something called the inventory and condition form, which is what you fill out when you move in to document anything that's wrong with the home, so that way you don't get blamed for it when you move out. And then we also will document the move out condition and then compare it to the move in condition to see if there's anything that's there that was there before versus anything that's new that the tenant caused that we should deduct for. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share. And while I get to that point, have you noticed I cut my hair myself? I gave myself some bangs. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I have not made it out to get my hair cut in the entire time. So it's been over a year now. I got it cut right before the pandemic hit. So that was actually a pretty good thing. So that way, it was started off quite short and then now has gotten to several inches longer. Okay, so you can see the titles of these folders. I'm going to talk about a story called Colorful But Ugly and also Dirty Secret. Okay, let's look at Colorful But Ugly. The story behind this one was that let me get a little gallery mode here. These tenants moved into a brand new home. Okay, it was just built. So it was in pristine, flawless condition. We did walk through with the builder's representative before closing to make sure that if there were any blue tape items, where you put the blue tape everywhere to mark any thing that's wrong that you want the builder to fix, that was all done. And of course, we have documented photos of this, listing photos before the tenants moved in, condition photos before the tenant moved in. And this is how they left it. Grass several inches tall. Okay, landscape maintenance is tenant responsibility according to the lease. Here we have a big bleach stain in the middle of this brand new carpet. It was brand new carpet when the tenants moved in. And then you can see there's other stains all around here as well. Markings on the walls of various colors. Literally every wall in this home had markings like this. Now, this isn't normal wear and tear. You don't just brush by and accidentally leave a bunch of red marks on this. I mean, this is like someone deliberately went and did this. Brand new toilet seats cracked. And these people were not really large either. So they were doing something on the toilet seat. I don't even want to know what that caused it to crack. I mean, you got to really push down and, put some force, not just sit down, but like jump or bounce up and down, whatever, to cause this to happen. More deliberate drawings all over the wall here. Little pieces of trash and debris left behind. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that this house is in a nightmare condition. Okay. We've had homes in much worse condition when the tenants moved out. This is just showing you, though, that we can deduct for this from the deposit and that this was a brand new home that these people didn't even take care of well enough and left it in this condition. Here you can see that there are several slats of the vertical blinds missing. The grass again outside just growing under the fence. It was so long and so many weeds, just completely unkempt. More drawings all over the wall. More here. More stains on the carpet of different colors. Showing you more markings on the wall, stains on the carpet. More stains on the carpet, marks on the wall. And this is a bigger red stain, but there's other little red stains. It's kind of maybe hard to see. I'm not sure how big your screen is, but you can really see it in the photo. Broken outlet covers, for example, and here, peeled off cabinet, the side of the cabinet. This one, is sort of a borderline. So I wanted to show this to you, a gray area. And usually we give tenants the benefit of the doubt when there are things where it's like, oh, it could be considered normal wear and tear, or maybe it's not, because, we don't want to deal with legal hassle and all of that either. Okay, so there was that. And then they told us that they thought they should get their entire deposit back. I don't think so. We had to charge. We had to clean the home. It wasn't left clean. We had to steam clean, do extra stain removal. We had to replace the carpet. In the case of, bleach stains don't always, they don't come out because it's bleached. Like, you've actually changed the color of the carpet. So unless the carpet steam cleaner can dye the carpet to, try to match the rest of the carpet, which sometimes isn't very successful. And especially when it's a large area like that, you can really tell. So sometimes the carpet needs to be replaced. And then, of course, the lawn upkeep, the damage, replacing that toilet seat, painting, all of those things, have to be charged for. Okay. Here's the next property I'm going to talk about. And notice I'm not using any names or addresses or even neighborhoods because we don't want any identifying information whatsoever. So these stories are anonymous. Okay, this one's called Dirty Secret. And I'm going to screen share one more time so you can see. And why I call it Dirty Secret is that these people claim that they had their house professionally cleaned, that they paid someone to clean the whole house after they moved out. And so they should not be charged for cleaning. Let me tell you this. There is a garage apartment for this property. This is a gorgeous, large, home, very nice, lakefront. And the garage apartment above, the unit above the garage just reeked of cigarette smoke. In fact, when I went to this property while the tenants were occupying it, I was walking through it because the owners were interested in selling it while the tenants were still living there. And so I went to walk through the property. I saw one of the tenants outside smoking in the backyard on the patio, which actually is not allowed. The residential lease in Texas states that you are not allowed to smoke anywhere on the property. If that box is checked for no smoking, you're not allowed to smoke anywhere on the property. On the property means within survey lines, as in within the property lines. On the driveway, the backyard, front porch, all these areas are considered on the property. So you're not allowed to smoke. Well, the garage apartment just smelled horribly of smoke. Like he either was smoking in there or was such a heavy smoker that everything he touched, clothing, all that, just made the whole place smell like smoke. But to me, I felt like he was actually smoking inside because it was a little too strong for it to just come from clothing. From clothing and other things, you should smell it, but this smelled like there was cigarette smoke literally freshly just in the air. Okay, and so as you can see, this is a dirty AC filter, meaning they didn't get this replaced. It was not clean. You can see there's like little scraps on the entry tile, and all these little dots of different colors you can see on the carpet going up the stairs. Same thing here, more just scraps, and we'll zoom in little things. And I'm showing you these pictures because on the white paint, you can really see the little scraps inside the pantry of the kitchen. There's just a bunch of scraps here. So if you had the home professionally cleaned, first of all, the person must have taken a nap while they were supposed to clean. But I tend to believe there was no professional cleaning done because look inside this microwave, just food splattered everywhere, all over the top, the back, the sides, on the tray, or this little rotating dish thing inside the oven. I mean, look, it's just caked with grease and food. I mean, this has not been cleaned. Another shot going up the stairs with more, bigger pieces of scraps that you can really clearly see. Um, I don't believe this tenant for a second that they had the home professionally cleaned. It definitely looked like they cleaned to some extent because when I walked through the home before they moved out, it was even dirtier, and there was a lot of just trash everywhere. I mean, literally like empty bags of potato chips on the floor, and just a bunch of just stuff, empty packaging of foods and drinks and whatnot. So clearly they cleared out most of it. But what's left is this situation. It's also possible that they had their home professionally cleaned while they were still living there, and then moved out. But then in that time, they had already gotten the home dirty again. So yeah, you're supposed to have it cleaned as the last thing, and then you're already out. Not you still continue to live there after the home's been cleaned. You can see this bathtub, all the gray there at the bottom, all the mildew along the sides. The faucet, you can see how all the white, there's toothpaste splatter all around here, on the granite countertop behind there, dirty stuff in the sink. Again, I mean, a basic clean job would get to things like that. Okay, so I'm going to come back. So yes, that is our another episode of tenant horror stories. And again, these properties are not in horrible condition. It's mainly kind of cleanliness and stains type issues. But the message of today's video is just how tenants can lie and tell you that they've cleaned or they've done this, they haven't caused damage, but the photos clearly tell a different story. The first tenant that I showed you, the colorful but ugly, they claimed that they had pretty pictures of the home in pristine condition. And I said, well, you know what? You won't be able to produce those pictures because those will be dated before you moved in. And it's a fact. They were not able to produce any pretty pictures. These tenants obviously were not able to produce any pretty pictures either. The second one I showed you, Dirty Secret, because again, they didn't have any clean, perfect pictures of a vacant home after they moved out and the so-called professional cleaning service came to clean. So these people, they want to lie and say that they have proof, but yet they cannot present the proof when asked for it, and we can. So it's a losing battle for them. So yes, that's what we deal with. Anyway, on future episodes, I have more tenant horror stories, including the mucus monster, really disgusting one, if you want to watch that one, and much more. And also Not an Inch But Clean, which I named, but then I changed it to Did Something Die Here? Yes, that one you won't want to miss. That one was, gosh, hands down, probably the most disgusting home I've been in. Also Murder and Maggots. Just a few of the little titles to get your appetite wet for the upcoming videos I've got in this tenant horror stories series. Anyway, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, or whatnot, please go ahead and leave them in the comments or send me a message. And I hope you will like and subscribe and keep watching Smarter Real Estate Weekly on Wednesdays. I'm Julie Tam with LYN Realty. Have a good week. Bye-bye now.